Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. It's time to talk more of this Colorado football program. Obviously, by far, the biggest storyline post-week one. Colorado going on the road to TCU that I feel like gets lost in the narrative. This was a team that played for a national championship less than 12 months ago. Coach Prime, with a completely overhauled roster, goes on the road, gets the victory. Dill, we got to talk about the ceiling of this Colorado program in 2023. We'll talk about what they need to do to get to that ceiling, what the future of this program is looking like. Now, before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys. The Colorado fans, this has been such a blast for us to talk about. And there's been, I was kind of in the middle ground, not as low as Colorado as many people, but I certainly wasn't as high on Colorado as what I saw on Saturday. It's time to kind of flip this narrative a little bit, but appreciate the Colorado fans for checking the boys out. You guys showed a ton of support all offseason as we talked this program, all the new faces that were being injected into this program. So if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. But more importantly, especially when you're talking Colorado, the best part about it is hearing from you guys. Extremely knowledgeable. I learned a lot from you guys, so appreciate you guys rocking with us. Let us know in the comment section how you guys are feeling. Dill, I'm going to kick this one off to you. Colorado 2023 ceiling. What are you thinking?
I mean, after last week, I don't know how you can think they can't win a Pac-12 title, and then who knows? I just think if you look at the history of college football, when you have really extraordinarily high-level quarterback play, check. Really high-level coaching, it seems like that's certainly a check right now. And then a couple of really good athletes on the edge, you can go win a ton of football games. I mean, you think of USC and Washington, frankly, from last year, both teams coming off of being bottom-tier Pac-12 teams. What is the common denominator? Both new coach, new quarterback. New quarterbacks played amazing, and the coaches are really high-level coaches. So I think Colorado has that. And you look, I mean, you got Travis Hunter now who, playing both sides, looks like he is possibly the best skill player in college football. So I just think you have the recipe right now to do what Utah or Washington and USC did last year in Colorado.
So that was kind of our take heading into the season was Shedeur Sanders. You go back and watch him at Jackson State, really, really talented player. That being said, you kind of had some question marks about jumping from the FCS to the FBS level. And he said in his interview, not much has changed. I'm not afraid of any names. There's maybe some guys are a little bit better at getting off blocks. And you can believe it. I mean, Shedeur Sanders goes out first game, breaks the Colorado program record for passing yards. Dill, I'll say this right now. In college football is about star talent. You can have a really good quarterback, a really good wide receiver, and lead you to a really special season. If I'm voting for a Heisman right now, I don't know if there's any names that are above two players on the Colorado Buffaloes with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, and that's just my thinking. It's again, is this team totally rounded out yet? Probably not. And I think Coach Prime even addressed that. He's just wait till I start recruiting the linemen I need and all these and filling in these other positions with the guys who I think can play at the level I want to play at. But I don't want to take that necessarily away from the team they have now, because frankly, I don't think that offensive line wasn't the strong part of their team, but it wasn't a unit that was noticeably whoa, this unit is not going to give this team a chance. Again, Shedeur Sanders helps them a lot by getting the ball out very quickly, on time and accurately, and doesn't put the ball in harm's way. But I do think other parts of this team were again, not as kind of bad as people thought it was coming in when people like Tom Luginbill were saying they're the worst roster in college football.
And I think there's elements of, I think that this, certain positions are even better than we thought. Shedeur Sanders, and I was pretty high on Shedeur Sanders. I wasn't he's the best quarterback in college football high. And there's a strong argument that he's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. The wide receivers, Travis Hunter is that dude, Jimmy Horn, Xavier Weaver. You talk about the true freshman Dylan Edwards there, and you didn't even see Alton McCaskill play, and he was a running back one at Houston. The skill talent around Shedeur Sanders is also elite. Shedeur Sanders absolutely put on a show. This offense with so much speed, with so much playmaking, with an elite quarterback, and we talk about the offensive coordinator, Sean Lewis. He's awesome. I mean, he left a head coaching job to come coach this offense. It was fast. It was on point. And Dill, the tempo, you only think it's going to get better. These guys are all new faces. As the weeks go on, running tempo, like just having this team mesh together, it's going to get better. Now, I will ask you.
They had TCU on their heels the whole game on defense. And again, that's like a TCU defense. Yeah, it certainly lost some pieces from last year, but there's like a handful of pros on that team. I mean, Josh Newton is a great player. There's, I think, Dominic in the middle.
Dominic Williams, Johnny Hodge, like it's a very good group. And I'll say that, like, yes, I'm not like saying TCU is a top 15 team, but I hate the narrative that like, oh, TCU sucks all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like, no, Colorado's just good. And I think people like who were in the camp of like Colorado stinks is like, oh no, just TCU is horrible. Like, wait till they play a real team. Well, come on. Like, TCU just played for a national championship. They still have some dudes on that roster. Colorado showed out. Now, I think the more exciting conversation is, Dill, this offense is dynamic. To reach this ceiling, and your ceiling is potentially competing for a Pac-12 championship, what do you think needs to happen for Colorado to do that?
I mean, frankly, it will be the defense just probably getting a few more stops. And frankly, the one positive thing you saw is being able to take the ball away in the secondary. And you kind of figured with Coach Prime leading that unit. I mean, a guy obviously who was incredible at taking the football away. You saw very nice play by that safety. Obviously, Travis Hunter just making one of those plays that, again, it's like that's the type of star power you need to go be very competitive at the highest levels. And that's what they have. So to me, it will be just, again, not missing as many tackles. That was probably the biggest thing I think you saw is missed tackles leading to big runs. But even that, I think you clean that up. Like you look, they only gave up 3-6 to the backup running back, not Amani Bailey, Trey Sanders. And Trey Sanders is very good. So I don't think this defense is probably as far away as that score indicated. And they gave up a lot of points, but it will be, can they just play a little bit better fundamentally and continue to take the football away? That sounds a lot like what USC needed to do. Frankly, they dropped off a little bit fundamentally and they couldn't tackle enough and they gave up too many like chunk plays. But otherwise, I mean, this Colorado team can score enough points.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to the defense too. Like I saw enough on Saturday to believe in this offense. Again, I don't think TCU's defense is as bad as everyone's saying. I think you'll see some better defenses that might be able to get a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, you'll see that stuff. For me on the defense and kind of Colorado reaching that ceiling, which again, to me is like, I don't know if I'm going to sit up here and say like they're going to beat Oregon or USC for a Pac-12 title yet. But if they want to reach that ceiling and be one of the elite teams in the Pac-12, I'll say I didn't really answer the question for me. Heading into the season, the ceiling was like, I think if they won 6 games, like that would be really impressive. Now, like my ceiling is kind of changing. Like this is a team that I think can be competitive in a lot of ball games because of how good the offense is going to be.
You can score like that. You can play with anybody because, again, you can.
Yeah, you saw USC do it last year. Exactly. Now, for me, like what they need to do and what you saw USC just not really be able to figure out last year is on the defense, can you stop the run? Because if you're a team that's going to play Colorado, and I guarantee you these are the conversations that are happening in Nebraska's room right now. Prepping is, hey, we got to run the football, control that time of possession, and what's the best way to stop this Colorado offense? Because guess what? It ain't no scheme on defense. It's just, hey, I'm not going to let Shedeur Sanders touch the football as much. I want to run the football, stay on the field, and keep Shedeur Sanders on the bench. And so what you have to do for Colorado is you got to be able to figure out how to get some of those stops. And Dill, I think you made a good point. It starts with turning the ball over. Like if you can get a few extra takeaways, a few extra times for Shedeur Sanders, Xavier Wheeler, Jimmy Horn, Travis Hunter to touch the football, like that's going to spell good. It's going to spell good things. But this defense does need to continue to come together, be able to stop the run, because it is hard to see like when Oregon State comes to town or Utah and they can run the football, are a little bit more physical up front. That is probably the recipe to beating this Colorado team, because as much as they are there on the offensive side of the ball, in that front seven of the defense, you did see them get grinded down a little bit.
Yeah, and that was, again, it's like just coming off what they came off of. It's hard to get those game-changing talents. And, I mean, the fact that they could get Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and Dylan Edwards, frankly, would be almost impossible for any team in Colorado's situation. But obviously there is uniqueness to Coach Prime and his ability to attract top-end talent and get them to buy into what he's saying. I don't think there's that many other coaches that could do it. So, again, like, yes, the defense probably does have some wood to chop for sure. in terms of rounding itself out, but they can just be relatively tough. I think, again, you can score like they can score. You win a lot of games.
So two more things I want to talk about before we close out. One, I don't think people realize how impressive like Travis Hunter's performance was. He played 153 snaps in Texas. It was 98 degrees. Like, I haven't seen a more conditioned, and he played him at a high level. He's the best player on both sides of the field, maybe minus Shedeur Sanders on offense. Like, that is insane. I mean, you go back to like Charles Woodson. Like, he only had 12 catches, I believe, all year in 1997. Travis Hunter had 9 catches in the first game. What he did was, I mean, I don't think people realize playing how impressive playing 153 snaps is. Now, Dill, this is the most exciting part of this whole thing, and it was a shame that we got 11 minutes in, haven't talked about it. The future of this program. Like, if Coach Prime can continue to recruit the star talent on the offensive side of the ball, have Sean Lewis calling your plays as the OC, and then continue to round out. And he's said, like, we need a couple more years to get the guys up front in the depth of this team to kind of win and compete at the highest level. I'm going to ask you, after seeing Saturday, like, the ceiling for the future of this Colorado team under Coach Prime is what?
I mean, frankly, probably the biggest thing is you look, this season is going to be probably a very good season, which I think will just only expedite the process. Because you look,
100%.
Colorado's 2024 class isn't like necessarily right now trending to be an extremely highly ranked class. But you look, when you can come out there and like that just looked like a fun program to be a part of. I mean, so much energy. You even thought like Sonny Dykes is like, I just think they were straight up more excited to play football than we were. And that energy, again, if that can like continue on through the whole year and they can string together a handful of really good football games, I would kind of think this 2024 cycle is going to like shape up in a way that is going to look a lot different than it does right now. Because again, I think that energy is infectious. At least it would be to me. And obviously,
there's no more charismatic person in college football right now than Coach Prime. Like, every single one of those guys in that locker room want to play for him, would run through a brick wall. And no doubt there are guys in the high school level who are looking at that program, man, like, I want to be a part of that. So that was there. But then there's like, I don't want to go to a program that was 1-11 in 2022. If Coach Prime can show this thing's going in the right direction, and it's going in the right direction a lot faster than we thought.
Knew it was going to be going in the right direction, so to speak. But if it goes from like, again, Vegas's odds, what was it, like 4.5, 3.5 games win? If it goes up to close to like 8, 9, 10, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. You say they put together 7, 8 wins this year. Like, you're not only are guys at the high school rank going to be like, wow, this is a program I want to play with. It's going in the right direction. I want to be a part of it. You got guys probably in other college football programs right now who are like, I might hit the transfer portal to go to Colorado. Like, it's the most buzz that we've seen a program have in a really long time. And again, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, like, they're not going anywhere. But it's something special that's happening in this Colorado program. And if they keep winning, it's like you said, it's only going to expedite the process. This could be, and again, it was a lot of boomer bust. Like, they could hire Coach Prime and it wasn't going to work out well, or it could really, really work out well. It's trending to really working out well in Colorado, really getting back to being in the upper echelon of this college football landscape. This is going to be such a fun program to talk about, not only this season, but in the offseason next year. The future of this program, extremely bright. Colorado fans, like, appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. You guys have always shown a ton of love, ton of support to us. Appreciate you guys. If you do enjoy it, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, would love to hear from you guys in the comment section, and we'll talk to y'all later.